Today's message revolves around making the choice that is the hardest and the teachers that have taught us along the way to do this not because it feels best or because it's what we are supposed to do, but because it is the most loving choice and the process to coming to understanding that it is the most loving choice. It feels like the energy is that of Christ consciousness that comes through to me today. And I often call upon that energy when I'm feeling judgmental or fearful or any emotion that could potentially lead to lashing out against another. I will call upon the Christ consciousness energy, the energy of Jesus, to help me to find the right path toward love. I don't always succeed, but it's something I try to make a daily focus for myself. And an example of this is perhaps there is somebody in your life who, or my life, our lives, who has in some way instigated suffering for you. And you removed yourself from the circumstance. And that person's birthday is arriving, and you know it. And you have a choice to acknowledge it with a card, just wishing the person a happy birthday, or ignoring it in order to make that person feel as though they don't matter to you. Or just to ignore it because you're ignoring it for the sake of ignoring it, because it feels better. And of course, this is just an example. Doesn't pertain to situations where there was abuse or mistreatment in that way. Just regular circumstances where something didn't work between you and another person and you removed yourself. The message is to make the harder choice. Send the card. Don't, or rather, avoid making decisions that will put somebody in their place and make the decision that shows that person love no matter what they have done. And the reason it feels like, or one of the reasons it feels like Christ consciousness is the driving force of this message is because if you consider the story of Jesus and the way he died, he was crucified and still asked for forgiveness for the people who were crucifying and torturing him to death. And so that was his greatest teaching, I think, is even in the face of insufferable evil, we can still show love. If we can remove ourselves from a circumstance that will cause harm to us, of course we do that. But whether we've removed ourselves or not, love is always the way. And that's a hard one for our society because, particularly in the West, we have this belief that it is our right to lash out and fight against what we perceive to be injustice. And if others are being hurt, of course, it is our right and our duty to try and protect them, to protect the vulnerable. But generally speaking, I'm talking more about the tendency to put people in their place for going against what we think is right or punishing people for triggering the pain within us. And this message today is a reminder that that is not the only possible response to suffering and pain. The other possibility is that we transcend our tendency to blame the other for how we feel, and we say, I love you, even while coping with and processing and allowing the pain that their behavior has triggered. It's a little bit of a convoluted message, I know, but it feels important to share today with all of the wars going on and the attacks against the other, and our move toward expansion and ascension, and the need for this practice to be taken up by more people who understand how imperative it is to show love even in the face of hate, so that hate can be transformed into love. And that is the message today. If you enjoy my messages, I leave them every day on YouTube. So please feel free to come back tomorrow. And also, please like and subscribe if you're inclined, because it helps me so much. Thank you.